What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. Here we are at game number 2 between Rett and SaSe. Game 2 here on the map, dual site. Spawning in the upper right hand spawn position, we have got our blue Protoss player SaSe, and the winner of last game. His opponent down over here in the lower left hand position, Liquid Rett, as our red Zerg player. And yeah, there you go. Game number 2. Alright, now let's do a quick little recap of game 1. First off, wow. That was unbelievable. That is quite the game to kick off a series with. Phenomenal play by both players and really nuts. Started out like this. Rett was behind in the early stage of the game as SaSe, with some aggression and some harass and proper defense against most of Rett's counterattacks. We saw some speedling and some roach counter-aggression, some attempted mute-aggression. SaSe was able to defend against all of that and do some damage himself. And for the first 15 minutes or so of the game, Rett was behind. Then we saw a large push from SaSe, pushing out with Colossus, Blink Stalkers, and I think there's a few Immortals and Sentries in there as well. And Rett mopped that up with a ton of Banelings and Roaches. He was able to just completely wipe the floor with SaSe, and all of a sudden, Rett's in the lead. And Rett has map control, he's got expansions, he's got the economy control, he's got the army size advantage. Rett was in a phenomenal position. And then one last time, the tables get turned yet again as SaSe pushes out with his forces and systematically picks off Rett's expansions and whittles down his army to the point where he eventually just had the advantage and was able to win the game. That was unreal. I don't even know what else to say about that game. Phenomenal game number 1, and hopefully this game number 2 is just as exciting. Rett has decided to go pool first. Obviously, we know why that is the wise decision, because of that possible harass from your Protoss opponent. Now dropping his Cyber Core. Still no scouting here from SaSe, as he's still just kind of chilling out here in his main base. Drops that Assimilator and then goes to mining that Vespene gas. Also going to have that next probe go straight to that Assimilator. And then continue back to the mineral. At least I hope so. Don't need 4 guys here. 3 is all you need. There you go. Alright, so back over here, the hatchery is about almost a half of the way finished right now. Spawning pool in play. We will be seeing that first queen as well as 4 lings early on. And here comes an extractor as well. No quick third at this game for Rett. Very risky. Trying to get a third over here so early. Especially given the fact that, as we can see over here, SaSe is still just on the 1 base. We have another gateway coming out. The Warp Gate research becoming Chrono boosted through. Second Zealot also coming out here for SaSe. Can't say his name. Don't know what it is. Well, I know what it is. It's because like the first 15 or 20 games that I ever casted with him, I called him SaSe, not SaSe. So forgive me if I slip. I will apologize, I'm sure, a few more times in this series. Zealot moving forward right now. We'll be harassing this expansion, forcing the production of a few more lings. Never mind, there's enough in play. We'll be getting us around right now on the Zealot, taking him out. Let's see if we get that micro. Yeah, buddy. Micros away those lings. Does not lose a single one. That's what I like to see from my professional players. So 1 Zealot down. We get a Zealot and a Sentry back at home with another Sentry coming out. Warp Gate research getting closer and closer to finished. Metabolic boost now just starting. Rett will be grabbing the Xel'Naga Tower over here with 1 ling and then continuing to move on forward with the rest of his Zerglings. Get some scouting intel, maybe try to harass if at all possible. Don't know if he's going to be able to do too much though with a 2nd Sentry coming through plus a Zealot. I think that we should see some pretty adequate defense here by SaSe. Yeah, has no problem. Already dropping a couple of lings. Rett can't really do too much here, so it's going to force him back. And SaSe all of a sudden is all set. Gateway getting warped in as well as a Forge. See those 2 gateways turned into warp gates immediately. Also going quickly with that hallucination research. We saw this last game as well from SaSe. The hallucinated warp prism psyching Rett out into thinking that he was about to see a Sentry Zealot bomb drop inside of his main. And that forced Rett to respond. I really like that play there by SaSe. I think that's pretty awesome, to be honest with you. Lings fanning out just for scouting purposes right now. Checking for hitting expansions. Checking more probably for probes and hidden pylons for attempted aggression. This is also going to allow him to see if any drops happen to move, trying to circumvent the center of the map in this direction. We'll see what happens. Speedling research now finished, allowing him to have a much easier time of scouting things out. We do have the third now coming through here for Rett, and that is just about to pop. Roach Warren coming on out, as well as the robotics back over here for SaSe. Can't do it. Hallucinated Phoenix moving straight clear across the map, and he will be walking his way right into the main. I guess he's floating his way right into the main, or gliding his way. Scouts the layer coming through. Scouts the Roach Warren in play. Concerned that that was a real Phoenix. You can see 4 Overlords in production. He was actually concerned that he would be losing some. But that was a fake Phoenix, so no worries. You're all set, buddy. Speedlings continue to scout the front here. Another hallucinated Phoenix now moving out. A couple of force fields, only losing energy, kills off a few Zerglings. That is a fair trade, I would say. SaSe gets a few free kills there. Rett is behind, only slightly, but he is still behind right now. Speaking of Rett, saturating this expansion over here, that will be scouted out once more by a hallucinated Phoenix. And he will be working his way right up into the natural expansion, spawning these extractors coming on through. Speedling's trying to do some damage over here as we have the forces of SaSe in the center of the map moving towards this third. Now we got a queen just popping there, which will help slightly with defense, but he needs to get these roaches and speedlings to help. Oh, that's a problem. Force fields trapping the queen and the workers. Oh my gosh, very nice there. With a small force, Rett able to do a bit of damage. We'll be pushing back right now, and unfortunately those roaches without that upgrade are a bit too slow to actually be threatening here. And SaSe gets to do some damage without taking much loss. That was really nice. Might be losing this Zealot though as the roaches try to catch up. There they go. Speedling's also doing some damage, getting up on those sentries. Drop them pretty quick. 1 sentry down. Not able to get the rest though. And the roaches continue to pursue here. That is really funny. Take a look at the resources lost. You can see Rett is behind Stalkers. This should be enough right now. Stalkers and the Zealot plus those forces to push back these roaches. And there you go. Roaches now finally stop pursuing. Take a look at the number of workers killed. Actually, SaSe only did kill off 3 workers there. I still really liked that though. Nevertheless, Roach speed coming out. Missile attack level 1 and getting research here for Rett. We'd like to see that armor attack come on through. Burrow research also coming out, and there's the armor finally. SaSe, Observer Scout, will be moving towards the third and then likely pushing into that natural in the main. Unless he's just scouting for pushes from his opponent. Another hatch coming out as we have an attempted expansion over here from Rett. It's a tough position. A lot of times you'll see the 4th right up here. This is very, very far away from that central hub, which is basically located right here. Central position between all those expansions. The further out you expand, the harder it is to defend. Keeping things nice and centralized typically is a little bit better. That is especially the case for Protoss. Just obviously moving a little bit slower with their army. Trying to stay centralized is very wise for Protoss players. Loses the Zerglings once more to force field walls and doesn't do much damage in return. Further pushing Rett behind this game. And even though Rett lost last game, he's certainly come back from behind in the past, so wouldn't count him out quite as of yet. We do have the tunneling claws coming out here for Rett, and that will, of course, allow him, while burrowed, to move his roaches. Allows him to get under those force field walls. Also just kind of be sneaky, stealthy, sneaking around. We do have that Colossus transition now finished here for SaSe. Let's take a look at the upgrades as well here. He's got the 1 weapons with 1 armor coming through. Sitting with his forces, threatening to push towards the 3rd and or this expansion, although I don't know if he knows about this expansion yet. I does not know about that quite yet. We got a bunch of roaches over here preparing for a possible counterattack. It could actually be very effective. That gets scouted out though, pile onto the high ground. Allows him to spot those roaches, pulls back with his forces. It could be a major problem for Rett. He is about to get sandwiched. And not the delicious ice cream variation. No, this is a terrible sandwich. Moving forward though, he's gonna drop the forge. Oh my gosh, wow, he should have kept like 1 roach there and taken that out. That would have been hilarious for Rett. Terrible for SaSe. I do not know why he didn't keep 1 roach there. 1 roach would have dropped that. Oh, that's unfortunate. Wow, that's really unfortunate. Unfortunate for Rett. I mean, that's very fortunate for SaSe. So good for him. More roaches moving out, and they will be engaging SaSe's forces in the center of the map, deciding that he's a little outgunned, pushes back. Finally, the roaches move in to finish the job, but level 1 armor upgrade finished. Something that he certainly could have prevented. We got a bunch of roaches coming on through as we do see this push here from SaSe. Also moving with a stalker. Just lifting up whatever, throwing it into the war prism. Now we got a roach counterattack moving over here. Since he has dropped the forge, able to push on in here. Sentry plus a couple of stalkers trying to defend. Roaches make it up though, killing off the sentry, allowing him to push on up. We still have the forces over here. Still have some units in the war prism. That's going to force all those drones off the line. Roaches doing a lot of damage over here though. Some more warp into stalkers. That's going to get dropped immediately. And the roaches continue to damage in that main base. However, we cannot discount SaSe as he has just dropped the 3rd and scouting out the 4th. He will take this out in about half a second. Roach is still doing some damage. Want to see if he's killed many workers. 7 workers killed for Rett. Taking a look at the resources lost. They're about even, with Rett being a little bit behind right now. It looks like SaSe does have finally enough forces to take care of the rest. Burrowed roaches are undetected right now. We do have an observer in play. Apparently it's not here though. He wasn't able to deal with that as a result. Has finally taken care of all the roaches inside of his main. Where the heck is that observer? If it's not with his forces. Oh, it is with his forces. Decided just not to engage those burrowed roaches? I don't know. I don't know, man. Burrowed roaches don't... Okay, there's an observer right there. There! So he engages. Oh, those force fields. That is frustrating for Rett. Splits up his forces. We got half the roaches back here. He can go around, but he wasn't self-controlling it. He was letting the AI do it. And as you saw, they kind of bugged out a bit. With that observer, able to destroy those burrowed roaches without issue. And we do have more units streaming across the map right now. Rett is forced back. Couple roaches sitting over here. Pylon allowing him to move on down and warping in zealots and starting to work down the units over here at this expansion. That is really rough. It's taking some economic hit right here. SaSe able to do quite a bit of damage. And finally pulling down with the roaches. We'll take out those zealots. How much counter aggression? He's still got these roaches over here. And this is pretty much everything right now here for SaSe. SaSe will be losing this pylon. We got roaches moving on over in this direction. Where are his forces? They're all over here. And as the forces are moving down to try to save this pylon and take out that expansion, we got a lot of roaches over here doing some damage, even dropping the expansion. Oh my gosh. SaSe just lost his expansion. I think he's going to retaliate, obviously, and take this out. But man, that's a problem. Look at how little mining he's got right now. Roach is now moving forward, taking out the cannon. What's next? Going to continue to kill off some workers. SaSe dropping this expansion very quickly. This expansion is a goner as well. We'll be seeing another hatch getting placed over here. Roach is in the main of the natural, taking out the tech. Just dropping what they can, and is he going to pull back to defend? Looks like he will. And we have an attempted expansion in place down over here for SaSe. Roach is engaging. Get the Colossus out of position in the center of the map. That is not good for SaSe at all. That is not good. Oh man, that Colossus was definitely needed here. Roaches coming from behind to reinforce, trying to drop some force fields and cut these roaches off, but we're going to see Rett burrow those and get them right up on SaSe's forces and force the GG. Good game. Game number 2 goes to Rett as we are treated to another intense match between these two players. Really enjoying this series so far. Hopefully you guys have been as well. Once again, this was game 2. We are now tied up 1-1 between Rett and SaSe. We'll be moving on to game number 3 in just one moment. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Keep watching and keep on.